Safety has improved at the refinery over time. There's no doubt about it. But if you look over the span of the last 8 years, they've had 2 explosions, several fires, several leaks, and those are just the publicly reported incidents. There have been other incidents that had occurred that they would report to regulators there. So there have been many incidents, and that stands out as unusual among refineries in Canada. No other refineries had sort of this level of incidents, leaks, fires.
So when you hear that there may be job action, whether it be a lockout or a strike, what were some of your initial concerns?
I was pretty worried about it. I've been worried about it for several months, and it's like watching a train sort of slowly creep up to the edge of the cliff and just go right over. And so, the lockout happened, and I have to say that over the weekend, it just felt kind of a feeling of dread about what is happening in our city.
When you talk about dread, what are some of those issues that you're concerned about now?
Well, the basics are relatively inexperienced replacement workers and managers doing the work. Now, they're going to have all the tickets, all the qualifications, but they're going to be relatively less experienced. Fatigue is going to be an issue growing over time. We also have a residential community school adjacent to the plant, which is a concern. So, as this moves over time, it's going to be fatigue growing. What's it like in that plant? We just don't know. And that sort of also personally causes me a little bit of anxiety, is not knowing what's it like in that plant right now. There's some people there who feel very confident that he can do it, and some would feel like, I just wish this would end. I just want to have Christmas with my family, and I want this all to end. And on the same side, on the other side, on the pickets, nobody wants to be on a picket line when it's minus 38 wind chill. They want this thing to be over.
You teach safety culture in organizations. It's one of the things you do here at the University of Regina. How do you talk about this with your students?
Actually, this semester, I haven't talked about the Co-op Refinery with my third year OH&S class. I have in the past. I use the Co-op Refinery as a case study of what can happen if production trumps safety. And in the past, it has trumped safety with very costly consequences, both in terms of worker injuries, but also damage to the plant. So it's run up hundreds of millions of dollars over time. So I use it as a case study.
Is there a time frame where you could see this getting more dangerous? Is there a certain amount of time looking at other incidences of safety that this could become a really big issue?
It's just impossible to speak to that question. All that I can say, based on reviewing the evidence, is that now that there's a lockout on, in my opinion, there's an unacceptable level of risk at the plant. And that risk, in my opinion, is going to grow the longer the lockout continues. The best path forward for the company, for the union, for the citizens of Regina is to get back to the bargaining table, get an agreement, have it ratified, and get back to work. The longer this goes on, the more animosity we'll have between the two parties, and the more difficult it will be for them to go back to work when they have a settlement. And that would be a recipe for continued risk and of an incident at the plant. So I'm hopeful that this dispute can be resolved sooner rather than later.